Good afternoon, this is Dan with Dan's Everything Outdoors, and today I'm going to tell you about a product called Arnall's Pontoon Arch Cover Support and if the product is for you or not. I picked this up from Arnall, extrememarine.com, and it's a high quality product, and what it does is it attaches on the underbar, right, tube support of your pontoon, and then allows for a schedule 40 PVC to cut it to the right length so that it creates the proper arch on your pontoon. So what a great idea. I think it's an excellent system, but you have to ask yourself, will it work for your pontoon? And I thought it was. I'm sort of new to pontoons. I've always had bass boats and ski boats and other type of power boats and john boats, and never had a pontoon boat. So I picked up a starter used pontoon boat last year. And as you can see, we have no camper cover on the boat anymore. And that's because we had the camper cover up. We had a lot of snow here in Virginia, and it actually collapsed the top of the camper cover in. So we're just going to take it completely off, put some Bimini tops on, and then get some, possibly fix the old camper cover. But in the meantime, we want to be able to have an arch support to keep the rain from pooling up inside the cover, and then just that rain sitting inside the pontoon all the time when we're not here. So I thought about getting the Arnall system for the arch support for pontoon system. However, this is the standard one. This will not work for this pontoon. Let me show you why. So if you look closely, come in here and look closely. So this would be a typical, my bar is a tubular bar, and it's the right thickness, but it goes in there. You get this padding. This is nice because it would be able to lift up over the top of the padding, but there's no way to get this in here. There's no way to get this on. Now opposite, it would, right? But then it wouldn't work the way you want it to. On an area like this, it would work fantastic because you could just slide it up there. You could bring this up to top and then screw that on. It would work great for that purpose. So another thing about this is that if you've got this aluminum siding on, it's actually riveted onto this bar right here, so there's not even a gap at all. Even here, there's no gap. So when I called Extreme Marine, I talked to a really nice gentleman there, and he was really helpful. He said, well, I'll tell you what, you can just send these back and you can order the new ones. Before we did that, we had a great conversation. He took the time to actually talk to me. I think his name was Randy, and he recommended, well, maybe I'll just send you one. So what he did is he ended up sending me one, no cost to me, just to look at, and I can send back to him if it doesn't work. So this is the laser version. And if you look at the sheet here, the one on the right there is the standard. The one on the left is the laser one. I didn't even know he made that version. So this is a much better version. It's higher quality, stronger, and it works on the same concept. The laser version was the same challenge. Now this came up on the proper side. See how it would go under, then you pull it up onto your bar. If I were to unscrew this, that would just slide up here, and then I drop the bolt across the top side. It would be perfect. But with this situation, and this is even thicker material, it's not gonna fit in between this couch, which is wood right there, and the bar. It's not gonna work for me. He does make another product that he spoke to me on the phone. I'm gonna take a look at that one and see if it'll work. So after a couple weeks, Randy from Extreme Marine Products went ahead and took return of the other ones I had purchased before, and also I returned the one that he gave me as a sample. And then I ordered from his website the newest updated brackets that he says will work with anything. And it comes in two pieces here, actually two pieces in the hardware, to where this is going to mount on top of here and give you room to clear the back of your pad. All right, if your seat back or something like that. It's also going to let you slide this part down in between any type of metal cladding that might be on the outside of your rail and your seat, if you have a seat there. And then if you're in a position where you're leaving it on for the winter time, or you've got the room, you can install this bolt right here in this nut so that it would slide underneath. So let me show you what that would look like on the pontoon. So if you had an open rail like this, you could, in essence, slide this piece in just like that. All right, and then you could put this back on, and then it's not going anywhere. But if you're going to take it off because you're boating all summer long, then what it has is additionally, you don't have to use these two nuts and bolts to secure it in place, because you might take this off when you're out with your family on the lake. And in that case, what he's got these 3 holes here, and you can attach a couple different bungees. For me, we measured, it was about 27 inches down to underneath the lip right here, where we can stretch a bungee to, so you could put as many bungees as you wanted to think you could hold that down. But let me go ahead and put this together and then show you what it looks like. So on here, just go ahead and slide that on there like that, because you want it to be facing that direction and on the outside, so that it can clear the back of your seat. With that, he sent all the hardware and this cheap little wrench that works quite well. So you've got 2 lock washers, and then your nuts that are going to go on the end. Kind of nice to install. I gave you a little tool. That way you don't have to worry about running around looking for a wrench. If you're like me, you got plenty of wrenches laying around already. But it was just nice that it was a complete kit, that all I need to do was order the PVC pipes. And the pipes that I got are the Schedule 40 PVC. That's the gray ones. I got 3/4 inch. And all you got to do is measure, he says 6 inches past the outside of your rails, and that'll give you a good distance so that it has the correct bend, because you want it 15 inches above your rail at the radius. And what I did is I wanted mine just a little bit steeper, so I measured my poles at about 9 inches past the edge, so they're a total of 9 feet is what I cut mine at. And that gives it a nice bend, and I got a cover on there that is going to sheet water off pretty well. So you can see I tightened that up now. Now you just drop it in place, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to drop on that side, then we'll put the poles in. Man, these metal's getting hot here. So is the seat. So I'm just going to slide this in here. This one's got a couple rivets on the back side of that metal clad, but I'm just going to pop it over, and it slid right over the top of it. So that one's in place. And now we're just going to put these poles in place, and I'm just going to drop one here and then push up on the middle of it, bend it back, and slide that one right on place. You see that moves around a little bit? I think it would be helpful to have that bungee cord there just so it doesn't fall off. But the pressure of this alone, and when you put your tarp on there, are pretty much going to keep it from popping out. What I'd recommend, I'm in shallow water, so if this falls off the edge right here, I know where it is. If you're in deeper water, I'd bungee him down. And if you got an open rail, maybe even put the bolt in there. But the bungee is quicker to take off. So let's put the other pole in there. There's 2 poles per bracket. And that just gives a lot of additional stability and a little bit of a snow load. And per the directions, you can even get a larger, like a 1.5 PVC, and do the same thing, or a 2-inch PVC. And I think that'd be a single one going across. But I'd already bought these for the other project, so I'm going to stick with 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC, like his instructions say. But if I was in like a place that had a lot more snow, Virginia every now and then gets a lot of snow, like this last winter, but not normally, I think I'd still be fine. So let's get this one in place. Like that. And the last thing we're just going to do is put some tape in place. So in his instructions, I'm just going to follow him because I'm sure there's a reason why he recommends this, is to go ahead and put some black electrical tape on here in a couple different spots, and that'll just hold it together. And when I take it off, I can take it off as a whole, as one whole piece. So now I'm just gonna, if I'm gonna pull out these together, I'm just gonna push up on the center and take the pressure off this. You can see how it can lift up and fall in the water. So I think definitely a bungee cord on that. But when you're putting it back on, all you gotta do is again push up on that, line that up and slide it in place, and you're good to go. So a boat like my size, I only needed 4 of these. He makes a set of 4, which would be 8 of these brackets total, or a set of 5, which would be 10 brackets total. And I only have a 24-foot boat, so I really only needed a set of 4. And I just spaced them. I just looked at the boat and I just kind of evenly spaced them. I started with the middle and gave it a good width, and then started with the edge because I can always, you know, drop off the side there. And then on the back side, same thing. I've got a gap here, but I can space it off there. And I may need to move these a little bit more in the future, but for now it looks good. And I think it's gonna, we'll go ahead and put the cover on the boat and then tie it down, see how it looks. But I will say, I was walking under one of these poles, my head hit it, and it popped out, and my bracket almost fell in the water. So you're gonna need bungee cords, okay, or something, or the bolts in place, or something some way to hold the bracket down so that doesn't happen to you. Well, we got it on there. I think I got a little work to do with tightening this up a little bit, but looks like it's got good support on it. I like it. I just need to make it a little bit tighter and figure out how to draw the edge of the tarp down. So thanks for joining me on Dan's Everything Indoors. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If you've got a pontoon, you're trying to figure out how to get a cover over it without it and having a good support so water doesn't cave in on it. So like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.